Carl Jung had a quote that said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will dictate your life and you will call it fate." When you call attention to a tactic being done, it takes the power away from that tactic completely. So like if somebody shakes your hand really hard and they're trying to be like super, like pretend alpha male, just calling attention to that takes all the power out of it. So like they shake your hand and you're like, wow, that's a really powerful handshake. I read online that that's like an alpha male move, that only alpha males do that. But you're kind of complimenting them in a way where they're like, oh shit, like everything that I was doing unconsciously is now conscious.
What Chase is pointing to is articulated so well. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it runs the program. Influence tactics work so well because they bypass something called the critical factor. It bypasses your ability to consciously evaluate something. A dominant handshake, a vocal tone shift, a subtle mirroring effect. And what it does is it creates an internal state before someone can detect the internal state has been created. That's what makes it so effective. But the moment you label the tactic, you begin to collapse the frame. You move it from an unconscious pattern to a conscious object, something that you can observe. Once you bring it conscious, you're no longer inside it. You're on the outside looking in. And that's where the shift happens. Now, here's a really cool way to think about it. The same thing is true with your limitations. Most people think their limitations are the obstacles right in front of them. If you're a real estate agent, the market, your competition, or the economy, or if you're a runner, it's your genetics or your competitors or your circumstances. But the real limitation is the unquestioned meaning attached to the obstacle. If that meaning isn't conscious, it now dictates behavior, and you call it reality, or worse, fate. When a fear or a belief or a pattern is invisible, you can't strategize around it. But the moment you say, oh, that's the story I've been telling. Oh, that's the frame I've been operating from. Or, oh, that's the meaning I've been assigning. You've already weakened it. Awareness doesn't just expose limitation, it gives you leverage. And once you can see the pattern, you can redesign it and turn the very thing that felt like resistance into the exact stimulus required for growth and performance. Invisible forces control you. Visible forces can be trained.